r/ask Reddit. What could have been awesome if people hadn't ruined it? Chat roulette. Could have been so awesome to just randomly chat with someone in another country, but people had to ruin it by just having dongs on it all the time. All new media becomes a method of sending dong pics pretty early on. That's just history. This is absolutely true. I worked with some guys that developed a handheld 3D scanner. They sent out beta units for people to test. They informed them very clearly that debug data and their 3D scans were visible to the development team. Guess what they got from the first units out? Dongs. So many whiners. They had to ask testers to not scan their private parts after that. If I can't scan my penis, I don't even want to test your damn scanner. Everything we touch. You are a virus. Agent Smith. Meta keywords on websites used to be a good way to tell search engines what your website is about until lots of websites started keyword stuffing and adding tons of unrelated keywords to show up in more searches. So now most search engines just ignore them. They are gloves. If I search for a specific item, like leather gloves, I report every single thing that comes up in that search that is not leather gloves. Duck those people. That sounds like the work of a bot. Climbing MT Everest. It used to be a huge accomplishment and nowadays people hire poorly people to take all their stuff and make their way up easy and comfortable. There is also a huge amount of trash and a queue. A queue at the very top. It looks like an awful idea these days. Apparently the trash includes a lot of poo, and at least one dead body if that's not too a disrespectful way of putting it. There are many dead bodies. Several of them are used as guide markers. I wonder if Sherpas make fun of Westerners for being so excited to summit Everest like. The Sherpa does this at least once a year and did it carrying all your extra shit. Now, it's saturated with reality TV shows that are on all the time. I learned way more about World War II on history than in class. Social media. It seems like it would be a great way to meet people, share ideas, and learn. Instead people take great joy in trolling, scamming, and deliberately spreading crap. That robot who was hitchhiking everywhere, I think he only lasted about a day in America. We suck. He did a lot of travel in America actually. Started in Massachusetts. He met his demise when he got to Philadelphia specifically, which should surprise no one. Do they know who the robot ruiner was? They got him on camera. The creators of the hitchhiking bot chose not to press charges. Never knew about this until now. What a cool idea. Sucks that some a-hole felt the need to ruin it. My favorite fishing spot. Cathaby? Crab. Jajux is powerless against overcrowded fishing spots. Crab. Flying drones as a hobby. I'm scared to fly my race quad in my local park now. Haven't been drone flying in a while even with my small RC plane. Oh yeah, my wife is a drone pilot for her job and just a week ago we were test flying her drone to make sure it could do the job she needed it for. All in this drone plus equipment costs around $5,500. A kid asked if he could fly it and we said no and his mom ridiculed us for not letting her son at least try. Would have been funny to see her face sour if you responded with something like sure, but first we will need your name and address just in case something happens. You can cover replacing this $5,000 toy, right? This is the correct way to correct this behavior. Here, sign this incident form stating that you are responsible for full replacement in case something happens. The rainforest. Welcome to the jungle. We got trees and rain. We got everything you want. Mostly trees and rain. Had a Nerf fight for my birthday and one of my friends brought a modded Nerf Mega. There's always a bigger fish. Brings Glock. It was pretty fun, but I still have a red mark on my left hand forever due to being shot within a few inches of said gas-powered pistol while rounding a corner in the path and almost colliding with my enemy. He promptly shot me point blank before I could raise my weapon and fire. The YouTube comment section could have been a place for insightful discussion. They shut it down. No website has come close to what it once was. The Great Barrier Reef was and still is awesome. Unfortunately, Australia and the world have likely doomed it. I heard they found a way to rapidly grow back coral by splitting them and letting each half grow. Our reefs may be okay if they hurry. It doesn't matter if we don't fix the underlying issue that caused the coral to die in the first place. It's a tragedy. Ah yes, the tragedy of the commons. Used to be TV news was commercial free, so it was considered a reasonably reliable source of information. Once they introduced the advertising supported 24-hour news cycle, they all had to compete for the most sensationalist stories, hooking the most people instead of giving actual news. When was this? I remember watching the news with my parents when I was a kid, early 80s, and I feel like they always had commercial breaks. Now, as I once mentioned, the trees have been cut down, the water is polluted with oil and gas from roaring motorboat engines, and the fish are gone. Oh, well, that's what happens I guess. There are a lot of lakes up there and they are all beautiful. Lawn darts. He won when it hit him. Kids being able to play and wander outside all day on their own without constant supervision. Oh, and the word daddy. Daddy, sure. I'm from rural NY, and we always did this. Old guys always told us how good it was in the old days when you could bike to each other's houses and hang out wherever and have freedom. And I always tell them I'm 18 now and we always did this. We were allowed to do it as long as we stayed off the main roads and came back by 6. If a product fails soon after purchase, send it back. If you use the product and it wears out, be a mention, know that you got a high quality product that served you well. And don't cheat and say you're not satisfied like a punk. I love Duluth. I had a pair of pants that got caught on a nail, and I told the cashier that I got caught on a nail so I understood if I couldn't return it. She was all no, totally return this. I buy all my workwear here right down to the undergarments. My wife bought some pants for work. A few months later we are in for me to get a new wallet and she says something offhand about needing new pants soon because she is losing weight and will soon need smaller sizes. The cashier told her the manager would consider that part of the satisfaction guarantee and to bring in the old ones to exchange even though it was several months since buying them. We were loyal customers for the quality clothes, but we're lifelong customers for the guarantee and the employees. My sense of humor. Now I just laugh at beans. Damn. What kind? Free holies. Gender reveal parties should have just been a cute way to let people know if you're having a boy or a girl, but now people go to ridiculous lengths for their parties. The worst I've heard about was a couple that decided to set off an appropriately colored explosion and ended up starting a giant wildfire. My husband vetoed it because as it turns out, when you're an adult you can just eat cake for no reason. YouTube. It's kinda weird how the internet shows just how much an economy can be fabricated. Just as the USA functions within a military-industrial complex, the internet ultimately profits from user inconvenience. Air quality. There were a lot of places, like REI and LL Bean, that had great return policies. However, people abusing them eventually led to the companies making them stricter. If I won one of those insane lotteries like $1 billion I would try to revive it. Or if every Reddit person sent me 50 cents, I would try to get it funded. Limericks was actually a pretty bad vaccine. It gave fuel to the fire of vaccine hysteria but it wasn't a failure because of that. But I think one of the big things was that instead of trying to improve a bad vaccine they just wiped it from the market. I'm from New England and both my sisters have Lyme. If someone redeveloped a vaccine is 100% supported. California, it was really nice in my teens and in my 20s but now it takes 3 hours to get home and if you want to go to the mall leave 30 minutes early cause that's how long it takes to find parking. And people wonder how Amazon is taking over the world. Florida. I grew up surrounded by orange groves, beautiful lakes and stunning beaches. Now my childhood home was bulldozed to make room for a highway. The orange groves have all been replaced by overpriced luxury apartments and the lakes are all devoid of natural wildlife except for algae and amoebas because it was all killed by the owners of the cheap McMansions around them. Florida is dead. Almost every new feature added to an internet browser. One a-hole had to duck it up for everyone else. Using headsets to talk to people while playing a game. Then everyone brought their vulgarity and get good to it. If we could have chilled out, it would be a fun way to meet new people who share an interest. The internet. National parks, state parks, everything outdoor in fact. The Concorde plane. The crash was caused by another plane, but it got so much bad press that people wouldn't fly it, forcing it to go. A heck of a piece of engineering, but the wrong design for a market that was increasingly driven by being the low-cost carrier. Twitch would have been awesome if the admins and streamers and viewers weren't terrible. Spore Maxes themselves did a great job building it all up, but then when they got EA in on things, shit went down the ducking drain. Spore could have been a much better game without EA getting its money hungry ass down on it. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.